Good morning, everyone. I wanted to go over day 23 of your AMI packet. We're still going to be working with the room that we've been working on Monday and Tuesday. Um, Day 21, Mr. and Miss Shaw found the answer to be 300 square feet, so we know that the room is 300 square feet total. And then on day 22, we're going to need to use this information too because it told us Miss Head found that we need 6, and Miss Lucas found that we need 6 and 6/7 quarts of paint in order to paint the room. So now on day 23, it says use the diagram and information from day 21. It does give you a hint. It said there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Use the answer from day 22 to solve this problem. So here's our answer. 6 and 6/7 quarts of paint. We know that paint can be purchased in 1 quart, 1 gallon, and 5-gallon containers. How much will all the supplies for the project cost if the cans of paint cost $10.90 for a quart, $34.90 for a gallon, and $165 for 5 gallons? And then you have a sentence stem here that you can use to explain your answer. So let's start with number 1. And here's what I want you to think about when we're getting started. We found that we need 6 and 6/7 quarts of paint in order to paint the 300 square feet 2 times, because we're going to have to paint it with, we're going to have to paint 600 square feet because they want us to apply 2 coats of paint. Can I buy 6/7 of a quart of paint at Lowe's, at Walmart, at Home Depot, at Sherwin-Williams? Can I purchase a partial gallon of paint, or not gallon, but a partial quart of paint 6/7? Is that possible? No, it's not. So what we're going to actually have to do is we're going to have to round up in this instance, and we're going to have to say we need 7, because 6/7 is much closer to 1 whole than it is from rounding down back down to 6, because we're almost to 7 here. We have 6 parts of our total of 7, so that means that we have most of the parts. So we're going to round up, and we're going to say that we need 7 total cans of paint. So I'm going to start you out here. Number 3 says, number 3 wanted us to figure out how much it's going to cost. And it told us how the paint could be purchased. So I'm going to erase this right here. And so here's what I want to do. I want to figure this up, and if it were me, just like you, if we're going to buy something, I'm going to buy whatever the cheapest price is if I'm buying the same thing. So I'm going to look at this kind of like a unit rate in a way, but I want to look at what's the cost of 7 quarts for this amount versus buying some gallons or a 5-gallon bucket. So let's get started. If I wanted to do quarts only, I know that I need 7 because we had 6 and 7 quarts that we needed for the whole room. And I can't buy a partial quart, so I'm just going to round up and say 7, and I'll have a little paint left over. And I know that each quart of paint is going to be $10.90. So let's see how much this would cost. $10.90 times 7. So that tells me I'm going to have to spend $76.30. All right. Now I'm going to move on to gallons. All right. Now, here's the thing about gallons. It says that there are 4 quarts in a gallon, and we're only going to use 7 quarts. So I can only buy 1 gallon of paint, and so it'll have to be gallons and quarts. So I'm going to have really a combination of both, because if I buy 8 gallons, I'm buying way too much. So here's what I'd have to do. I would have to say 1 times the price of 1 gallon, which is $34.90. And I'm also going to have to say, well, if there are 4 quarts in a gallon, but I only need 7, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes up the 1 gallon. And then if we have the 5, 6, and the 7, those gallons, the 5th, 6th, and 7th gallon, that means I'm saying gallons, I mean quarts. I only need 3 additional quarts. So I need 1 gallon, which is 4 quarts, plus 3 more gives us the 7. So how much were the quarts? They were $10.90. So we're going to see how much this will cost. I know here by the identity property that 1 gallon, if it's $34.90, it's going to be $34.90. And on the second one, and you might could even do this in your head because this one's relatively easy, it's $32.70. All right, so if we add these two together, $34.90 plus $32.70, I'm going to get $67.60. That seems to be a cheaper option, and I'm getting the same amount of paint. $67.60. All right, the last option was the 5 gallon. So on the 5 gallon, we're going to have to purchase a 5 gallon, and then we can't purchase another gallon because well, I tell you what, we can't purchase a 5 gallon because if we purchase a 5 gallon, it's going to be much more. It's going to be $165. We only need 7 quarts, which is a little less than 2 gallons. So there's really no need to figure out how much the 5 gallon is. So out of these two choices, when we look at these, what's going to be our cheaper option? I think you can easily see here that the gallons and the quarts is going to be the cheapest option. This is something you can really do when you're going to purchase paint at the store. You can compare prices looking at a smaller quantity versus a bigger quantity. So this is how much it's going to cost you for 1 gallon and 3 quarts. Okay, versus quarts only. And if you buy 7 of these, it's going to cost you $76.30. All right, so now let's look at number 4. So number 4, let me change my color back to black so we can keep the problems the same color. So problem 4 says you have a coupon for 20% off all quart size paint cans. How does this affect the cost of your project? Okay, so let's go back and we'll analyze both of these prices. Now, the only price that this will not affect will be the $34.90 because this only affects quart size cans of paint. The $34.90 is a gallon of paint, so this will not affect this price here. It will only affect the $32.70 and the $76.30. So let's look at quarts only first and see how it affects it. I know that the total price for quarts only was $76.30. And if I want to find how much the discount here is, all I have to do is I just have to multiply $76.30 by 20%. And this is going to tell me how much my discount is. Keep in mind, this is not going to tell you the new cost. It's going to tell you how much you can take away from the current price. Okay, so let's pull up our calculator. And before I do that, I want to remind you of something. Since we're looking at this as a percent, remember we're not multiplying 7630 times 20. We're doing it times 20%. So how could we convert this to a percent? How could you convert it to a percent? Well, you could do it as a fraction, and I'm going to go down here and do a little work. Nope, I'm sorry, that's not the right. I can convert it to a fraction. I can convert it to a decimal. And aren't these the same thing? Isn't this the same thing as well? Absolutely. So, and I want to show you something. When I type this in my calculator, 20%, see how, oh, let's try it again. 20%. Well, it's not changing. Oh well. Usually, I've seen this in the past, and I'm going to get out of my calculator function and pull it back up just in case. Usually, when you type it in, it will actually go ahead when you hit the percent button. It will go ahead and translate your percent into a decimal for you because that's how the calculator does it. And most calculators do that. I feel like I've seen this one do it before, but maybe it hasn't. Anyway, let's go here and calculate this. $76.30 times our discount. So our discount, they're giving us 20% off. There it goes, 0.2. So when I hit that, and remember, this is how much money I'm going to save, not my new price. Please don't get those confused. So my savings is $15.26. All right, so what I've got to do now is I've got to go down here and say $76, which is my original price, minus my discount of the 20% off. So the 1526 is 20% of 76.30. So when I go back to my calculator, oop, I did it the wrong way. I was trying to do it like a 10 key. $61.04 will be my new price. So this is how it affects the quarts only. So now let's look at the gallons and the quarts. All right. Remember, this price will not change. I'm going to put this on here and write, we cannot change this price. This is gallons only, so this will stay the same. Okay. This is the part that we can modify the price of because they say we're getting a 20% discount off of quarts of paint. So we take the total price, $32.70, which was the quarts of paint. We're getting 3 quarts for that price, and we get a 20% discount. So when I multiply these, remember, I'm going to get the discount, and then I'm going to have to subtract that from the original price. Let's go $32.90 times our 20%. And remember, this is just the decimal version of 20%. I can always go and type 20% and it will turn into that automatically. So my discount is $6.58. Okay. Notice it's much less because we're buying less quarts of paint here where we bought more quarts of paint up here. So now remember, this is not the new price. This is just how much I have to subtract off of my current price to figure out how much my new price is. So we'll take our original price for 3 quarts of paint, $32.90, minus our discount, and that's going to tell us that this new price is going to be $26. Was that 32 cents? Yes, 32 cents. So here's what we need to do now. We need to add the discounted price for quarts back to the original price of the gallons because we could not discount the gallon price. And let's see if we still are going to choose 1 gallon and 3 quarts of paint, or if we're just going to go with the 7 quarts only. So let's see if we're still going to buy the same units of paint. $61.22. Would you look at that? So now, if the store was running a sale, which one would you go with? Would you still go with the quarts of paint, or would you go with the quarts only? Looks like to me, if it were me, I would choose quarts only this time because our new cheaper price is a little bit cheaper. Now you're not going to save a lot, but you're going to save about 18 cents if you go, you're going to make this line a little bigger. If you go with quarts only, you're going to save 18 cents. Okay, that's not a lot of money, but it's still savings nevertheless. All right, I hope this will help you today. Remember to use your sentence stems when you're explaining. in red there. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Mr. Smith, or any of your math teachers. I hope this video helps you, and I hope you're getting along well with your packets. If you have any questions going forward, please feel free to reach out. We love hearing from you. Talk to you soon.